campaign, a lot of pressure on him as the Tories move towards the general election, still a long way behind him.
Today, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is shaking up his government with a cabinet reshuffle. In itself, that's not that unusual. Prime ministers do that from time to time when they want to solve a particular problem or inject energy into their government. But on a scale of, say, 1 to 10 in terms of drama of political reshuffles, this is about an 11.
Did you forget your resignation letter, Home Secretary?
Home Secretary Suella Braverman is out, and she has been replaced by James Cleverly, who until this morning was the Foreign Secretary, the chief diplomat of the country. He has been replaced in what I have to say is a pretty unprecedented and unexpected move by David Cameron, a name people might remember. He was the Prime Minister for 6 years between 2010 and 2016, leaving after the Brexit referendum when Britain voted to leave the EU against his wishes. And to say it's unusual for a former Prime Minister to return to the cabinet in another job is an understatement. I mean, the last time it happened was in the 1950s. She had a reputation for being a hardliner, for being on the authoritarian side of the Conservative Party, but she finally overstepped the mark, I think, maybe last week when she referred to homelessness as a lifestyle choice and said she wanted to take away tents from people who sleep on the street. And she followed that up by, in a really unprecedented way, given her job, by attacking the police and saying the police were too lenient on pro-Palestinian protesters. And she referred to those protesters who've been marching to demand a ceasefire in Gaza as hate marchers. And all of that culminated in what was a very difficult weekend for the police, when there was a very, very large pro-Palestinian march of 300,000 people and a rival collection of hundreds of far-right supporters, some of whom, inspired by Suella Braverman's words, came out to try to attack the pro-Palestinian protesters and ended up scuffling with the police. There's a risk in this for Rishi Sunak, which is that the Conservative Party has been divided for years, since Brexit, over Britain's place in the world, over the kind of government there should be, over what role the state should have. Rishi Sunak has kind of managed to paper over those cracks a little just by being a calming figure over the last year. But in firing Suella Braverman and in appointing David Cameron, he risks blowing all those tensions open again, because the more authoritarian or right-wing sections of the party, they really like Suella and they really don't like David Cameron. So that could put Rishi Sunak in their sights. There could be attempts to hem him in on policy, even, who knows, to topple him. I mean, it seems unlikely, but stranger things have happened, and the Conservative Party, when it decides to get rid of its leaders, can act very quickly.